Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's time for the match reaction. Celtic 3, Dundee 0, still top of the league, well and truly back to winning ways, and some lovely football alongside it. So, let's talk about that. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe. It would be much appreciated as we head towards 50,000 subscribers. Do that very quickly and enjoy the video. Celtic 3, Dundee 0, happy days, up the road, 3 points, top of the league. I'm as happy as you can be after that. A professional 3-0 win for Celtic. A game of two halves. A first half in which we struggled to break the deadlock, and a second half where we well and truly got our backsides into gear. I'm happy with it, as you can tell. It's not going to be a memorable one that we're not going to speak about for years to come, but listen, we got the job done. Clean sheet as well, and a lot of good performances from certain individuals today. I think that I left Celtic Park just generally happy that we continued on from that derby victory. It could have been very easy for us to fall back into bad habits today and not take chances and kind of find ourselves in a similar situation that we did with St Johnstone. And trust me, at half-time I was thinking it could have went that way, but we really did pick up the kind of style and the quality of what we were doing in that second half. Brendan Rodgers sent us out with a little bit more venom in us, it seemed, and that paid dividends as we got our 3 goals. It was really important, that first goal, that penalty. It did help us unlock the game. And I don't want it to be a case of us thinking that it took us a penalty to make Dundee kind of back off a wee bit and let their heads drop. I think that it was going to come. We were going to find our goal. It was just a matter of when it was coming and how we were going to get it. I think that we would have won the game either way. But, you know, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to cry, because a 3-0 win leaves me happy. It means I can enjoy my weekend in peace. Let's do it as we always do it. First half, second half. Let's go back to the start. When the team was announced this afternoon, I was actually surprised by a couple of the decisions that Brendan Rodgers went forward with. I was surprised to see Scales keep his place in the team. I must admit, we're going to talk about Liam Scales. I thought he had a brilliant game, but I really did expect him to go for the Phillips and Lagerbielke partnership today. And I wonder if that means that Scales is now going to be favoured moving into that game against Feyenoord on Tuesday. I mean, you can now create a compelling argument in saying that he doesn't deserve to be dropped. He was brilliant at Ibrox, and he was brilliant again today. So it was a decision that Brendan Rodgers made, and you know, it was paid off by the end of the game. He was the only centre half that played 90 minutes today. Phillips was subbed at half time for Lagerbielke, and in that 90 minutes, I couldn't fault Liam Scales. I really couldn't. So it was a surprise seeing him on the team sheet. I didn't think that he would start, but I'm going to say I'm glad that he did. And I don't know how that will move going forward. I don't know if he'll keep his place for much longer. If he keeps performing like that, though, he is going to keep creating discussion. And whether you like that or not, that's the name of the game right now. So until there's evidence that he doesn't deserve to be there, until we have maybe Cameron Carter-Vickers back, it could be his place. So he's got a couple of big games. We heard that Cameron Carter-Vickers is back in early October. After that, it will become incredibly difficult for Scales, but keep putting out those performances, and there's a future to discuss there for Liam Scales. Someone who me and many others thought would maybe never make the grade as a Celtic player. He's proven people like that, myself, wrong just now with these performances. So keep that up, Scalesy. And another one that I was surprised with today, another couple that I was surprised with actually, was the decision of Turnbull starting. I really did think that maybe Bernardo would have come in to start the game. Turnbull did get that opening goal for us. And not as surprising due to the international situation, but I thought maybe Palmer might have squeezed his way into the starting 11. But more Turnbull and Scales. Was surprised to see them in the team. But yeah, first half performance, it was very similar to St Johnstone. We were the much better side. I thought that we deserved to be leading by half-time, and we should have been leading by half-time. We just never took our chances. We had a lot of really good balls drilled across the box for Kyogo, and just in the first half, I thought his positioning was maybe a wee bit off. You know, he wasn't in the areas where the ball should have, where he should have been, where the ball was going, and we didn't take advantage of those. Maida obviously scored as well, which was ruled offside from my seat. I thought he was on, so we should have really had the lead there maybe as well. Listen, it was just learning from those mistakes, we need to try and find the goals earlier, and I think that will make these games much easier to watch and go through as time goes on. I did have confidence that we'd score, we'd open the score and get the win today, but I don't like having that PTSD feeling going into half-time going, I've seen this before, seen it a few weeks ago against St Johnstone. So we need to find that kind of ruthlessness in and around the final third in these opening exchanges of the game. Put teams to the sword and get the job done early so that we can relax and so we can play with a bit more freedom and less. I don't want there to be a desperate side to our game in the second half. And I don't think we looked desperate today, but you go back to St Johnstone, we did. We need to avoid that. Be ruthless in the first half. Take your chances. Dundee had a massive chance. Joe Hart made a great save. And I think, once again, credit has to go to Joe Hart today, because for as little as he was tested, when he was asked to make a big save, he made a big save. And aside from that, another convincing performance from Joe. One that didn't require any sharp intakes of breath through your teeth. None that kept you on the edge of your seat, making your heart fall out your backside. None of that. I thought Joe Hart was solid today. That big save. Those saves are crucial. Because if Dundee get a goal in that moment, it can change the story of a game. The narrative of the whole game can change, and suddenly you do become a very desperate side. But he made a big save in that first half. So, yeah, I think that's the only thing that for me the first half was lacking, was that ruthlessness. We probably should have done better to find a goal, but we didn't let it faze us, as we know, because moving into the second half, we became a much better side. Yeah, the penalty helped us, didn't it? It managed to calm the game for the players and us as fans a little bit as well. It was needed, but it was a penalty. So, you know, there's no conspiracy theories or anything amongst it. Turnbull converted. It was a really nice way to start the second half. And after that, you know, it just became like clockwork for Celtic. And like Brendan Rodgers' football evolved. And that's where I want to talk mostly about our performance today, because some of the football we played in that second half was liquid stuff. And it shouldn't have ended at 3. We really should have had 4 or 5, maybe 6 by the full-time whistle. We played some lovely football after substitutions, before substitutions. Everybody really came into their own in that second half. But the goals in particular, Kyogo's, what a ball from Callum McGregor, by the way. And Kyogo, I mean, you leave him in those spaces, and for such a wee guy, you forget the things that he can do. He's that good a player. He's got everything in his game. When he needs to score with his right, he'll do it. Score with his left, he'll do it. If he has to go in the air, sound like Gary Neville here. But genuinely, he leapt like a salmon. He hung in the air and he connected with it with precision. And it's a brilliant finish from a brilliant striker. You know, one of the best that we've ever had here at Celtic. He keeps adding to that tally of his. But the ball from McGregor is brilliant. Second goal, once again, some beautiful football. That was top tier, liquid, Brodge ball. That's what the third goal was. Matt O'Reilly's. Unbelievable, and it wraps up the game for us, obviously, and it makes it 3-0, but brilliant work from everybody involved in that goal. Kyogo with the final pass to Matt O'Reilly, a tidy wee finish. The second half, everything just seemed to be going right, and it's finally us now, I think, seeing the signs of what Brendan Rodgers wants to do, and the players buying into what Brendan Rodgers wants to do, because everybody who started that game and was subbed into the game, even the new boys, I thought they all just looked at home today, and I thought they looked as though they actually knew what they were doing. Very different from the opening games of the season, where you could see it didn't look like we knew what we were doing. So I'm very happy to see that kind of fluidity back in the team, and just a kind of recognisable formula out on the park. You know, a system that actually has substance, and we can identify it. You know, we can identify what we're trying to do, and we've seen that through the third goal in particular. But there was other ones. We hit the bar. A couple of chances that went wide. Kyogo moving into good areas in the second half. He was getting on the end of balls. There's one, he takes it on the first touch and it goes miles over. But on another day, hopefully that goes in the back of the net. We just looked a lot more fluid and understanding what we were doing. Everybody was linking up well. Everybody done their part. And that's why I really want to talk about the midfield three for a moment, because the midfield three today were really good, and especially McGregor and Matt O'Reilly. We obviously seen Turnbull go off and Bernardo come on and Rio Hatate come back, which we'll touch on, but McGregor finally looking like Callum McGregor, which, God, why has it took so long? The best player in the team, the captain, the man himself. But he looked back to his old self today. He looked like the Callum McGregor we know and love, running the game in the middle of the park. And Matt O'Reilly just continues to get better and better under Brendan Rodgers. Truly his star boy in the middle of the park. I think he is just the ultimate Brendan Rodgers player. He's the complete package, the passing, the moving, the finishing, everything in his game just suits Brendan Rodgers' system to a T. And he's got a real freedom in the middle of the park, because when he has to come back and create a double pivot with McGregor, he can do that. When he has to go forward and score goals, he can do that. He's just got the whole package in his game, and he suits this system and suits Brendan Rodgers' style of football incredibly well, which is just good news for us fans, and it's just a joy to watch. Thought the midfield looked really good today, and Rio Hatate coming back automatically, for me anyway, even though he didn't chip in with a goal or anything like that, you just seen how important he is and how good he is the minute he came on the park. It was a wee brief period just after he came on, he was dancing through players. You know what I mentioned in the preview in the podcast, the fluidity in the midfield is so important, and having that, Rio Hatate brings that, and you could see that today as soon as he was back on. And I really like the look of Bernardo as well. So, you know what, a midfield spoiled with options at the minute, because you've got McGregor, who's hopefully back to his consistent best. You've got O'Reilly, who's just been brilliant for Brendan Rodgers. You've got Bernardo, who looks like he could be a player. You've got Rio Hatate, who is Rio Hatate. And then you've got someone like Thiago Holm and David Turnbull as well. You're spoilt for choices in the midfield at the minute, and it's just a great position to be in. Keep playing like they did against Dundee today, and domestic football anyway will be absolutely fine. Lewis Palma, Bernardo getting to see, and Nat Phillips as well, getting to see them for the first time was really good. Glad. And listen, you can only judge them so far in a game against Dundee, a newly promoted side from the Championship, a team that you're expecting to beat convincingly at Celtic Park. There's no point in you know, giving the overall opinion and rating of them. It's just good to see them, and mostly positive from all three, I would say. Mostly positive in the whole part today from everybody in the park for Celtic. And what's a really important factor of today's performance and today's 3 points is it gives us great confidence moving into Tuesday against Feyenoord, a game which is going to be really difficult. One that's a completely different match from Dundee. But it's good to head in just being happy. No toxic negativity amongst the fans or anywhere after this. Bigger difference from St Johnstone. Listen, I'm happy. I'm going to have a pint and I'm going to smile. Celtic 3, Dundee 0. Love it, ladies and gents. Let me know your opinions in the comments below. Hectic match reaction as always, but we'll analyse it more tomorrow night on a live stream. We'll be here to preview Feyenoord on Monday, and then Tuesday night, the Champions League's back, baby. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.